I can say I came to photography very late, after 12 years of traveling around the world, of doing stupid, crazy things all over. Photography was a good way to keep working, to keep searching, while having a form, while finding a form to my way of exploring and confronting the world. So it came very late, and it was very useful and very efficient as a way of telling my story. After all these years of drugs, street living, and all kind of experiences, I had in a way to become reasonable, to find a way to speak out, to learn how to speak, to learn how to describe, explain my perspective on the world, which was different from their perspective. I mean, I had been building my own perspective on things, and I had to accept and to learn how to speak out, and this was kind of painful, you know, when you are used just to experiencing and to living, and to wasting your life away, and you decide to change something. So it was very hard but very intense and interesting time for me. I can only work from my own very perspective, which is biased, which is extreme in a way. It has to be excessive in some way, intense in some ways. It always has to do with some kind of abuse of any kind of substance, or I mean, it's quite. It's not a very average or normal point of view. You know, I have my very specific point of view, and usually it's a bit extreme for anyone else. You know, it's like it doesn't fit. But it's my point of view. I mean, that's the way I've been growing, that's the way I've been living, so I cannot change it, and I don't want to change it. So I invite people to follow me in this kind of different way of looking at things. But this allows me to have quite an extreme way to get inside people's lives, to get inside people's minds, to get lost in some geographical territories. So it's a very, I guess, excessive but meaningful way of exploring the world. I guess you could resume it as a very lonely, very painful position, but which I share with everyone. You know, I mean, at least with everyone who was like me is an atheist and was pragmatic. You know, like I don't have any answers. I don't look for any answers. I'm just open to the world. I guess I've been exploring parts of the world which have been left on the side. I mean, I work a lot with some kind of marginal communities, or people who have no communities, and I guess we are not used to look at this part of the world, or at least when we look at them, it's always from a very humanitarian or humanistic point of view, and I try to invent a new perspective, a new point of view. I mean, these prostitutes, drug addicts, I mean, I don't look at them from a humanitarian point of view, like, you know, but more like from inside, like trying to show the intensity and the madness of these places. So what is my subject matter? I guess excess, I guess feeling alive and wanting to feel even more alive. It will be some kind of mix of desire and fear, but I don't want to renounce on desire and I don't want to renounce on fear, you know, like desire without fear is kind of pointless, you know, it becomes like just flat pleasure, and fear without desire makes you close in some kind of darkness and loneliness. So I try not to renounce on these two things, and I try to go where I should not go, but in the same time I try to mix reason and consciousness. Or, you know, I'm willing to take all kind of risks and to get lost on the way. So it's really like not renouncing to the pain, not renouncing to the desire, not renouncing to the pleasure. Well, usually I tend to go where people don't accept me, or people look down at me. You know, like I go to these night joints or bars or strip clubs, or people will see me as an intruder or as an outsider. And after, I like to build my way. I like to build the relationship. I like to build the trust. I always have to prove that I have some good reasons to look at these people. And so it's a matter of building some kind of respect, some kind of trust. and usually it takes some time. But when you give everything to people, they give you everything. So it's some kind of strange connection going on. But yes, I do work in places at night where nobody goes, or usually people don't like to go. I only have questions. I don't have any answers, and I don't pretend anything. The only thing I'm sure is that I don't like and I don't accept all the rules, journalistic, artistic, which are imposed or which would be imposed on me. So I make sure I stay free out of any influence or any pressure to change my point of view. And I try to reinvent every day my perspective on things. So of course, it's fragile, it's very personal, it's very subjective, but I make sure it doesn't fit, or it's not meant to be formatted or to fit any kind of support or logic. So it's a very personal, very fragile view on things, and it's as good, as bad as yours or anyone's. It's just my very specific point of view on the world. I've always believed that words, in the end, are not worth, or at least are just worth what they are, which is not much, because you can play with words, you can seduce, you can lie, you can say anything. I tend to look at what people do at their own lives, how they make their everyday and intimate life, which is my only way to judge at what somebody is. And this is how I've been judging at myself. Since I've been very young, I've been trying to live up to my words, to make sure that my life is as wild, as crazy, as intense, as pure, as honest as my words would be. And it's a hard job to, years after years, to keep staying kind of free, not to fall in any kind of comfort or any kind of easy escape. So it's, I tend to model my life as my real art. I do think that in the end, photography is a very basic and easy to manipulate language. It's very easy to, especially today, with the new techniques, new technologies, and with a very high culture of photography spreading everywhere. Everybody knows about photography. Everybody is on the internet checking, looking at things. So the world is full of very good photographers. It's not what's missing. What's missing is really personal perspectives and personal ways of dealing with life. So I think film forces and allows me and forces me to be more coherent, more exigeant, more. You can't lie so much. The moving image forces you to be up to the point on a longer period of time. It allows me to give a voice to the people I film. My last project, 25 women from the night are speaking, and something which photography doesn't allow. In a way, photography is a very specific, very partial medium. It doesn't matter how much despair, how much courage, how much will I have to understand the world, to make my place, to make myself a place in the world. I'm left with my own contradiction, my own fears, my own desires. I'm locked into myself, and it's so difficult to make a bridge and to get out. Not to people who look like you and enjoy the same things as you, but to understand the world, I have to go to where I'm scared of going. I have to get close to people I'm scared of. And so it's in this attempt to get out, in this attempt to be with people, which I find some kind of serenity, some kind of unleash, some kind of answer. That's why I say that my only issue is in others.